Dear Chiara Bonifazi, thank you very much for accepting our invitation to talk about Solidarius Italia project. My colleagues from CRIES Timișoara and myself, when I read about all your projects, we are big fan of your work.
Thank you.
I will just start with a very broad opening invitation, not question, to talk a bit about your organization mission and vision. So maybe our colleagues from the non-profit organization here in Romania, maybe they can connect or see how you deal with this type of forward thinking. Please.
Okay. So, thank you for this invitation, first of all. Solidarius Italia is a very small social enterprise that was born in 2009 here in Rome. We are 7 members from different parts of Italy and from different backgrounds and ages. And we work at local level, national level, and European level, but we work in partnership and in network with a lot of different realities. So we are part of different national, European, international networks, dealing, of course, of social solidarity economy, because this is our main field of action. Our mission is to spread the social solidarity economy movement, and we work doing training, research, social design, networking initiatives, and we support actors, communities, associations, cooperatives, producers, or also local institution administrations in a transition path towards social solidarity economy through participatory processes of co-planning. It's important for us. For this, we work a lot through the methodology of action research and training in action, because our aim is to involve people we train or we meet in an active process of change of their own communities. So we work for the sustainable development of territories and communities, starting from the motivation and the active participation of people.
Thank you. I welcome also Mihaela Vețan, our colleague from
Hi.
We were very interested in one of your projects. You began a very interesting project in the Bergamo region, starting with in our point of view, a very impactful point of view. A school is part of the social complex network of a territory, because you also mentioned the territory. So you work with schools and initiatives of solidarity economy organizations. How can you give us more details about the project? How did you do that? What type of methodology you used? This also as a good practice initiative, because it's another way to look at a school. Not only, okay, at school you go, you learn for the future beings that are children, but this perspective you had, we found very interesting, and maybe you can give us some details.
Yes, for sure. We have just finished this project, this beautiful project named My Future is My Valley, in an internal area of the Bergamo province. So it's a very small little village in the mountain who is suffering a lot from the depopulation. So we worked with the primary school and the first secondary grade school with the social solidarity economy district of Bergamo. We call district because it's a network of networks, and it's a network of very different actors We have schools, we have local administrators, producers, citizens, informal group, association, a lot of actors. So it was a project based on the sustainable development. So in the first part of the year, we work a lot with the schools and with the teachers. The aim was to create a walk dedicated to the 2030 agenda of the sustainable development. And we choose to work on the realization and the creation of this walk as a tool to enhance the area also in terms of tourism. And for the boys and the girls who worked on it, it was important for them because they create a product for the whole community. So they were subjects of this proposal for the territory. And it's a walk, actually, it's a walk of 8 kilometers available for the families or for the tourists or for who to go through the area. This walk, which has been called the Petals Walk, was inaugurated at the beginning of October with a big party and a collective walk. And for now, 5 stages are being completed, but it's a work that can be implemented in the coming years, also with the contribution of other schools, because each stage is associated with a goal of the 2030 agenda, chosen by the teachers on the basis of the work they were carrying out in their classes, also at in their interdisciplinary level. So they work together, finding a common territory to work with their children. And through some QR codes, it's possible to have access the various materials produced by the children. So you can find didactical activities, some in-depth studies, interviews that they have made to parents or other actors in the valley. And in the various links, you can also find some references to some virtuous reality is working in the valley for that objectives. And the 5 objectives they choose are quality instruction, peace and justice, the life on the earth, the life under the water, because they are in a valley with a lot of rivers and so on, and the health and the well-being. And so they choose these objectives and they create a lot of materials. But this is just the first part of this project that involves especially the school. But we also work with other actors in the valley, because the idea is to bring the school out of the school, but also let other actors go inside the school, and so create this movement around the school, but not only. So in the second part of the year, we were working with the district of social solidarity economy, involving other actors, and our aim was to create a local 2030 agenda, a sort of participative document in order to define some priorities, objectives to achieve by 2030, at local level, and with also some strategies to do that, a sort of action plan. So we started doing interviews to local administrators, and also creating an online questionnaire sent to citizens producers association. And so we collected a lot of information about the problems of the territory, but also the strengths of it, and also collecting some proposals to work for sustainable development. So we created a draft of this local agenda, and we invited all these people last week on Saturday. And starting from this draft, we work through the methodology of Work Cafe in order to going more in depth in these objectives. And we had the opportunity to analyze better some aspects. So now we have a new version of this local agenda, and probably we need to organize new online moments to debate some topics better before to present officially this agenda to the community, but also the idea that we decided together with the people that come on Saturday is to present this agenda also to the region and the province of Bergamo to have a better impact. And we choose to work, starting from the proposal that we collected, we choose to starting work with 5 priority objectives and goals that are the quality instruction, sustainable cities and community, the decent work and economical growth, the partnership for objectives. It was the main goal and more difficult goal, and the last one was the fight for the climate change. So yeah, we are working on it.
What I wanted to say for our Romanian listener, that in Italy it's very important, this kind of structure that you don't have in Romanian social solidarity economy district. That it's, as Chiara explained us, is local network of different kind of actors. Could be also understand this kind of structures as a structure of exchanges and mutual learning, because I suppose that they are in a process to learn from one each others, and I think it's a very important element. And I think that what Chiara presented, it's very innovative in a way to involve schools in a political way, in a way, in fact, because we started this work from children's concrete actions from schools, and we had the vision to finish with a local action plan for the local communities. And I think it's a very, very interesting. It's not so used in our work when you have educational program to include this type of dimension that you already have, to put in a real connection the actors from the territory, and to recognize the role of schools, teachers, students, the name of
Families.
the project, families. The name, it's very, I don't know, very inspiring. My future, my valley, because this is the reality. And I think, Chiara, that you can conclude that it's a very progressive way to look at the idea of educational for sustainable development. These are my comments listening you. And congratulations for this.
Thank you. We are trying to bring these big objectives that often are, or they feel so far from the realities. So we are trying to bring them here in our realities and understand how concretely we can achieve in our part these big goals.
And another element, Chiara, that I think it's very interesting that you said that the approach in school was transdisciplinary, that we approach the thematic of sustainability development transdisciplinary. I think it's very important, this element. If you want to say more about it.
I can tell you the first meeting that we had with teachers, because at the beginning they had some difficulties to understand this type of approach because they are completely focusing their own discipline, and so it's necessary someone else from the external that can help and support them to imagine themselves as a community and also imagine themselves as teachers, as member of the communities. So it's important yes, for them it's important to work together on this, as also for others topics, of course. But the sustainability is a good way to start this exercise to work together.
I hope now you can hear me. Yes.
Yeah.
Back to microphone. What I wanted to ask, maybe it's a question that you wouldn't expect because you use so much this idea and concept, actually, not idea, of territory. When you say territory, you approach it from different points of view, geographical, economical, cultural, gastronomical. So how would you approach territory in order to find the focuses that you need to address in your project?
It's different for each situation, of course, but when we talk about territory, we talk about the territory that the community feels as their own territory, so the space of life. Okay, so in some parts, for example, we are working in a neighborhood here in Rome, so in a urban neighborhood is completely different from the communities and territory that we have met in Bergamo, for example. But of course, first of all, we did, or we always make a context analysis to understand better the needs of the territory, that are the needs of people who live in that territory. So we analyze the flows that go through this territory, so economic, cultural. We try to understand the territory from each point of view and understand the potential of this territory in terms of local development.
Yeah, actually, this was a step forward to the question of methodology. What methodology would you use? Do you have some sociology instruments? What types of expertise do the people you work with? Are they anthropologists? Are they, I know, psychologists, sociologists, policy advisors, and so on and so forth? So how do you, I know, facilitators, community facilitators, what type of specialization combination you use in order to have this analysis that you mentioned?
I think we are anthropologists and sociologists and facilitators. So yes, for example, we are working to train a new profile that is the I don't know how to say in English, but is not community animator, but more animator of proximity.
Actually, I think we do have in Romanian animator, which means more that is not for fun or something. Is more like a more than a facilitator. Yeah.
Sì.
Yeah.
It's a mediator for the needs of people and the needs of territory. So it's yes, a facilitator. Yeah, and we use different methodologies. Our key concept for sure is the learning community. We work to create this learning community. Is absolutely our key concept of work. And it's so important in order to activate processes of change, because only involving people from the beginning in a co-design process, you can guarantee the sustainability during the time of this type of activities, also in the perspective of a cultural change and a change of imaginary towards the social solidarity economy. So we work for the community development, and we are working with different targets. So with teacher, but also with informal group or community cooperatives, so different. But the most important things is that what we understood is that important work in parallel or both, putting attention to the individual dimension and collective one. I can explain better. We use some tools from social animation and territorial cooperation. For example, we work a lot on the needs analysis or community mapping, but also we work with single person, making capabilities assessment or balance. And it's important call them capabilities and not skills, because it's different. Because our aim is to help people to look themselves as a resource of their community, valorizing all the capacity or experiences they have, also informal skills, for example, not always the skills used or valorized in the traditional job market. And so we work both at individual and collective sides, helping people to discover themselves as a part of a community they can care about.
Actually, like a potential. What potential do they have, and they don't know about it because
Exactly.
they don't value it enough. Yeah. Okay. One of my last questions, if Mihaela will not jump in with another one. I would like to ask you: do you think your methodology of this type of approach can be transformed in a toolkit? Like a good practice toolkit, and be used, for example, of course, adapted to other territories, I mean, other communities, other region, but also other countries. Of course, we are thinking also of Romania, but also other types of communities.
Yes, I think so. Of course, adapting of each realities, but I think that what we understood during this year can be transformed in some guidelines that we can share, and there are simple tools that we can adapt, and also we are continuing to experiment in different realities, so we also are adapting constantly this type of approach. It's an approach, not a specific methodology. It's quite it's quite an approach. But what we understood in last years is that we need to work at individual and collective side in parallel. Because if you work only in a collective way, you lost something, you risk to lose something, and you can't guarantee after your intervention the capacity to go forward and to continue this experience, because you are not you had not motivate and you had not empower people enough.